Dum 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 dum. Welcome back to the reading of Paul Foster Case's The Terror, a key to the wisdom of the ages. We are now going to be reading Chapter 4. I misspoke in an earlier video when I mentioned some information in Chapter 4. It was rather the chapter about card number 4, the Emperor. I think that is Chapter 8? Must be. My math is anywhere near correct. Anyway, Chapter 4, Key 0, The Fool. Now, I took a couple artistic embellishments with the card. But basically, that's the guy. Also, I like the big ones because I put my notes on the side, because I'm just a cheater. Key 0, the Fool. Aleph. Aleph is the Hebrew equivalent for the English A. Its numerical value is 1 in Roman characters used for transliterating Hebrew words throughout this book. Its name is ALP, meaning bull or ox. This is believed by many to establish the time of the invention of the alphabet as being during the astronomical period called the Tarian Age, when the bull was the god symbol dominant in the leading religions of the world. Apsus in Egypt, Mithra among the Persians, Dionysus among the Greeks, all had the bull or ox as a symbol, since oxen pulled the plow and threshed the grain in primitive husbandry. Besides pulling the carts which carried the farmer's produce to market, they became the symbol for the motive power in agriculture. Agriculture is the basic form of civilization. Thus, the ox represents the power at work in all forms of human adaptation and modification of natural conditions. Oxen, again, are symbols of wealth, as our own English adjective pecuniary. I don't know how to pronounce that word. I don't know what that means. Pecuniary, derived from the Latin pecus, cattle, clearly shows, finally, oxen and bulls the world over represent creative energy, life power, the vital principle of plants, animals, and men, which comes to us in physical form as the light and heart of the sun. The Hebrew name for this vital principle is Roush, R-V-C-H, C-H being its own set. If you write it capital R, capital V, capital C, lowercase h. Its literal basic meaning is breath. It is equivalent to English spirit, Latin spiritus, Greek pneuma, and Sanskrit prana. All these words mean air or breath. They all designate the all-pervading cosmic energy which animates every living creature. This Roush is specifically attributed to the letter Aleph. In the Kabbalistic book of formation. Fiery or scintillating intelligence is the mode of consciousness assigned to Aleph. Breath keeps a fire alight in our bodies. In both Old and New Testaments we are told, the Lord our God is a consuming fire. To define the primal mode of the life power, the first aspect of the cosmic vital principle is impossible. Yet wise men have ever agreed that it is like fire, and the most recent discoveries of modern physics demonstrate the fact that the something whereof all things are made is a radiant, fiery energy. The only thing I can really say to that without any specific citation was that I saw some footage of, I think, well, obviously it was some sort of containment field, but they, if I'm not mistaken, they had some antimatter striking regular matter, and naturally it was annihilating, but where it was happening made this fluid-like layer of light, and it looks like fire. It's like, imagine fire, but it's made of water, and it just sticks to things, but it's fucking electric. I don't know. It was just scintillating to look at, to use just the right word. Where was I? Life, power, consuming fire. Scintillating or intelligence is the mode of consciousness assigned to Aleph. Breath keeps a fire alight in our bodies. In both Old and New Testaments, we are told the Lord our God is a consuming fire. To define the primal mode of the life power, the first aspect of the cosmic vital principle is impossible. Yet wise men have ever agreed that it is like fire, and the most recent discoveries of modern physics demonstrate the fact that something whereof all things are made of is radiant power energy. Occultism adds the thought that this energy is the working power of pure consciousness, which plays upon that energy, is inseparable from it, and directs all its manifestations from within. This idea of inherent and directing consciousness, combined with current scientific explanations of the electromagnetic constitution of matter, gives precisely the conception which Kabbalists convey by the term scintillating intelligence. In the color scale used by some Western schools of occult science, the elements of air and the fiery life breath are represented by a clear, pale shade of yellow. Since the discovery of the planet Uranus, the higher octave of Mercury, this planet has been attributed to Aleph, and is represented by the pale yellow tint just mentioned. Its tone vibration is E natural. The planetary name Uranus, it should be noted, is the English adaptation of a Greek word meaning sky. Alright. I want to tell a fucking joke here. Now, this is going to be one of them vulgar motherfuckers. And, you know what? I might get some shit for this joke, which would make me laugh even harder given the nature of the joke. Now, this is really only funny because of English. Well, I guess because of Greek. Uranus. Yes, Uranus. Yes, we're talking about anuses. Why? Because that is the crux of this joke. Apparently human beings are this sort of life form that when they start growing in the mother's womb, the first thing that grows is actually your butthole. Okay, let's just put that right there. The first card in the series is your fucking anus. Thanks, English. You have an endless supply of laughter just waiting to be dug up. You really do. Oh yeah, means sky, okay. I get, you know what, yeah, I think that's what I was going for with the blue. See, the background is supposed to be all yellow, but I just, you know, I like experimenting in layering details, you know. It doesn't, it's not supposed to be blue there, but, fuck, it is in mine, alright? It's not the only little fucking, okay, no, I went one step further. You see the spaces there? Well, there are 10 of them, and since there are 10 Sephiroth, I went ahead and labeled them based on their color scheme. Also, some someone was giving me shit for this not being like the correct attribution, but it's multi-layered. This is one of the attributions, I believe, simply because if you look at how they fit together as a series of triangles, colors are quite interesting. What do these two make? Boom. What do these two make? Boom. What do these two make? Boom. What do these two... that's all kind of debate. I don't fucking know about that, and that's a bunch of them. But that's cool as shit. So, let the shit front river. We've got to lay all the data out and honestly look at it if we're going to make any sort of judgment on anything. So, that's just the way that is. Fucking, where was I? Furthermore, those who believe with the present writer that all language and, in consequence, all accepted scientific nomenclature is an evolutionary process having its origin in the universal mind may reach the conclusion that the noun uranium, derived from Uranus, is by no means a chance designation. Is by no means a chance designation for the chemical element, whence are derived the thought-designed and man-made elements, Neptunium and Plutonium. Those terrible sky powers. Fuck, hold on. Where were we? Okay. In the color scale used by some Western schools of occult science, the element of air and the fiery life breath are represented by a clear pale shade of yellow. Since the discovery of the planet Uranus, the higher octave of Mercury, this planet has been attributed to Aleph, and is represented by the pale yellow tint just mentioned. Its tone vibration is E natural. The planetary name Uranus, it should be noted, is the English adaptation of a Greek word meaning sky. Furthermore, those who believe with the present writer that all language and, in consequence, all accepted scientific nomenclature is an evolutionary process having its origin in the universal mind may reach the conclusion that the noun uranium, derived from Uranus, is by no means a chance designation for the chemical element whence are derived the thought-designed and man-made elements Neptunium and Plutonium, those terrible sky powers which appear at present to threaten the extermination of humanity in a frenzy of insane suicide. Yet these same powers might, if rightly applied, so change our globe that it would become a veritable paradise. Ageless wisdom, in spite of all appearances to the contrary, holds fast to the conviction that a directing intelligence will so work itself out in human thought that new constructive uses for the sky power going far beyond what most of us now call, or most of us can now imagine, that far beyond what most of us can now imagine, will bring to fulfillment the ancient promise of a new heaven and a new earth, peopled by regenerated humanity. That's a strange prophecy right there. The zero key elaborates the occult meanings of Aleph. Its number identifies it with the no thing, whence all things proceed. The Kabbalists call this limitless light in connection with Aleph. We find this light represented as the active principle of existence, prior to actual manifestation. The picture of the fool, therefore, does not show this principle as it really is, because the absolute transcends finite comprehension. Yet the symbols show it as it has revealed itself, in a measure, to the wise. The fool is pictured as a youth because we are obliged to think of the absolute in terms of our own experience. To our minds, the life breath presents itself in human form, but behind this personal seeming sages discern something higher. I would use the word persona or something. Typified in the picture by the white sun. This higher something is an impersonal power, manifesting as the limitless light radiated to the planets of world systems without number, streaming to them from their respective suns. In manifestation, this energy is temporarily limited by living organisms. Of these, the primary class is the vegetable kingdom, represented by the green wreath which binds the fool's fair hair. The hair itself is yellow, symbolizing the radiant energy of the life breath. The higher class of organisms is the animal kingdom, evolved from the vegetable world and represented here by the red feather rising from the wreath. This feather is also a symbol of aspiration and of truth. The colors of wreath and feather, green and red, are complementary, as are the kingdoms they symbolize. Look at that. The cosmic life breath is forever young, forever in the morning of its power, forever on the verge of the abyss of manifestation. It is neither male nor female, hence this gay young traveler's figure might be either lad or a girl disguised like Rosalind. Actually, it is the heavenly androgyny. Always it faces unknown possibilities of self-expression, transcending any height it may have reached at a given time. On this account, the sun behind the traveler is at an angle of 45 degrees in the eastern heaven. As Swedenborg says, the celestial sun remains forever in the spiritual world. The spiritual sun never reaches the zenith, for from the zenith it would have to descend. And the idea here intended is that the infinite energy never can reach a point in manifestation whence it must begin to decrease in power. On this account, too, the fool faces northwest, towards a direction which, for Masonic and other occult reasons, has for millenniums been symbolic of the unknown, and of the state just prior to the initiation of a creative process. It does not engage in entropy. I just thought of it earlier today, actually. It was like, well, it has to do with the nothing a separate thing, where it's like, it never was separate at any point either. It just changed a little bit. My two fingertips are just a little bit closer or further apart. We go back in time, I was just a butthole. Illusion. Travelers gaze the traveler's eager gaze is fixed rapturously on a distant height. Beyond and above him, he is that which was, and is, and shall be, the deathless, fadeless life principle, subsisting eternally behind all modes of existence. His inner robe is dazzling white, representing the light of perfect wisdom, dimly traced. In the folds at the neck of this white garment are the Hebrew characters of the divine name, IHVH, Jehovah. This name, according to Kabbalists, is represented by the three parts of the Hebrew character for the letter Aleph. The white undergarment is almost wholly concealed by the black coat of ignorance, lined with the red of passion, fire, and material force. This outer garment is embroidered with what seems to be a floral decoration, but the unit of design, repeated 10 times, is a yellow wheel containing 8 red spokes. Around this wheel are 7 green trefolds. The yellow color of the wheel represents air or breath. The 8 red spokes combine the number 8, symbol of rhythm, with the color red and refer to the rhythmic action of the fiery activity which sets the life breath into whirling wheel motion. See 8 of Wands. The 7 trefolds are green, color of organic life in the vegetable kingdom, and particular color of the planet Venus in color symbolism. Each trefold represents one of the 7 spirits of God, and one of the 7 great rays of the universal creative energy. They are trefolds because every one of these 7 force rays has a triple expression: integration, equilibrium, and disintegration. Wonder how you would parallel that to mutable, fixed, and cardinal. There are 10 repetitions of this unit of design to refer to the ancient doctrine that all manifestation is in 10 aspects or phases. 10 ineffable enumerations, 10 and not 9, 10 and not 11, as the Book of Formation says. In one of these wheels, near the bottom of the Fool's Coat, is placed the Hebrew character for the letter Shin. This refers to the connection between the letters Aleph and Shin, which are both alphabetical symbols of the fiery life breath or Holy Spirit. In addition to these 10 wheels, there is on the right breast of the Fool a yellow circle encircling a triple flame of red. This represents the state of the life breath prior to manifestation, when the universal energy, yellow disk, although it has the triple potency of expression, the triple flame, within itself, has not yet organized that potency into the rhythmic whirling motion, which is the basis of all modes of expression, has not engaged in entropy. On the Fool's left shoulder is a golden 8-pointed star. Close to it is a silver lunar crescent. These are the sun and the moon, or gold and silver, of the alchemists. They refer also to Surya, the hot electric solar current of prana described in books on yoga, and to Rai, the cool magnetic lunar current of the same prana. Cool, I forgot about that. That's one of the bread and butter parts of my magical technique, which I am not even close to telling you guys about, so let's enjoy that. Fundamentally, these are 2 modes of the one life breath. Their activity is both universal and personal. In humanity, they are active in the nerve currents of the physical body. The black wand over the Fool's right shoulder is a measuring tool. It supports a wallet having a flap sewn with 10 stitches. The lock of this flap is in the form of an eye. On the wallet below the flap is a picture of an eagle. The wand is a symbol of will, of which attention, the wand itself, is the essence, and to which memory the wallet is closely linked. The wallet contains the summed up experience of the previous manifestations, because at the beginning of every new cycle of self-expression, the life power carries with it the essence of all its experiences in former cycles. Go. See the eagle. Yeah, I didn't let you get a look at the coat either. For some reason it gets bright for a second, and then it dims. I don't know. Production value shit. I know, shut up. Fucking... Where was I? Trying to make a joke and fucked it up. Whereby the accumulated experience of that power is... The eagle on the wallet refers to the zodiacal sign Scorpio. Thus it intimates that the wand and the wallet together may be understood to be phallic emblems, referring to the natural process whereby the accumulated experience of the life power is passed on from cycle to cycle through an endless chain of living organisms. In occultism, moreover, the awakening of the higher vision, symbolized by the eye on the flap of the wallet, is brought about by practices which redirect and sublimate the bodily forces related astrologically to the sign Scorpio. The rose in the fool's left hand is white, to indicate freedom from the lower forms of desire and passion, and also to show that it refers to the spiritual prototype of desire. It is a cultivated flower, showing, as do other details of the fool's vesture and equipment, that he has come from a previous scene of cultural activity, from a plane somewhere behind him on his journey, for as corresponding to Aleph, the fool symbolizes cultural activities. Yes, there is no such thing as death. The Ouroboros eats his own tail for fucking fun. Enjoy the ride. You bought the ticket anyway. At the waist, the robe is encircled by a girdle having 12 circular ornaments, of which 7 are visible. It refers to the 12 signs of the zodiac, through which are expressed the powers of the 7 heavenly bodies known to the ancients. Thus, the girdle typifies time, and since the belt must be removed in order to take off the black coat, here is a plain intimation that to rid ourselves of ignorance and passion, we must overcome the illusion of time, which is, as Kant long ago provided, purely a creation of the human intellect. A practical occultist learns to replace time by eternity and practices daily to accustom himself to leading the timeless life. That I totally did remember. It stuck with me, and it is definitely worth a contemplation or 7. And also mention, this is the second time it's popped into my head, a note on the word ignorance. It's one of those commonly misused, I think. I see Pascal's point, ignorant. If the information is available to you and you simply choose to ignore it, then you're being an asshole. You are being cowardly. You're choosing not to see. However, if the information is available to you and you choose to see it, then